Hello and welcome to this restorative yoga practice to heal. That's what our focus is going to be for today's session. So if you've got bolsters or if you've got pillows, please grab them and have them close by. Maybe you want a blanket, maybe you want books for extra height. So we're going to give it a minute or two just to let everyone join on in, but a warm welcome to you all, and I hope you are ready to enjoy this. It's going to be bliss. How are we all this evening? Are we okay? Perfect. So while we're all joining in, I'll just introduce myself. So those of you that haven't practiced with me before, my name is Jasmine. Hello to all of you that I haven't yet met in person. So today's practice is going to be a restorative practice. So if you have bolsters, or if you've got pillows, I'd suggest grabbing them. You can have multiple pillows and cushions. Really, it's going to help with a lot of assistance in certain postures. So the aim of today's practice is to heal. So really we're celebrating the body's innate and incredible ability to heal itself. This is one of my favourite things about the human body. And really on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, even minute by minute, the body is in a rejuvenation process of getting rid of old cells and getting rid of the dead ones and rejuvenating and repairing and making new cells. Really, the focus on today is going to be healing that process energetically, physically, emotionally. So it's going to be a big one. We are going to be holding lots of postures for a long period of time. So if you're used to a more dynamic practice, just know that it's very normal to feel like you want to move, that you want to shift, but really the aim of today is to be slow and to be restorative with ourselves. Okay, so as I said, you can have blankets, you can have pillows. I've got a pillow like this to kind of add in for extra height. So make sure you've got props nearby. You don't have to have any sort of fancy yoga equipment. It's not necessary. And you're going to come and take a sit on your bolster, on your cushion, on your pillow, just to raise the hips up. And you're going to bring one heel in just to sit underneath the groin, and then the other foot coming into a staggered easy pose. So one foot is in front of the other, and that's just allowing the knees to drop down and the hips to stay a little bit lifted. Really, if you're tight in the hips, the higher up you are, the better that's going to be for you. So just play around with the height and see how your body prefers to sit for our opening meditation. So to start with, we're just going to take a rub to the hands, so generate some energy, generate some warmth. Take a deep breath into the hands. And then as you exhale, place the hands on your third eye, so the space in between the eyebrows. Bringing the eyes to a close. And just check in with how you feel here. Physical sensation of warm hands on the forehead, temples. Breathe into this space. This is your energy center of intuition. Connecting in with a higher power, a higher sense of your personal self. So just ask yourself the question, is there anything you need to heal here? Energetically, physically, emotionally. It can be as simple as a tension headache. Just ask that question, inquiring that of yourself. hands to a rub. So we're going to rub the palms. Try and keep the eyes closed if you can, so we're really focusing within. And then you're going to place the hands just on the neck. So maybe you want to take the hands around the back of the neck, maybe sides of the neck. Maybe you want to focus on more of the throat as an area. And we're just connecting in with this space in our body. Take a deep breath into the neck. And ask yourself, what do you need to heal here? This is our energy center of communication. So how we understand others and how they understand us. So questions you might be asking yourself is, am I heard? Am I able to speak my truth? Asking yourself these questions and seeing what pops up in your mind's eye. And then again, taking the hands together, we start to rub the palms briskly. Breathe into the hands here. And then on your next exhale, place the hands over your heart. Take a deep breath into your chest center. And ask yourself, what do I need to heal here? This is our energy center of relationships, of love, in terms of how we are loved and how we love others. So just inquiring of any healing that needs to go on in this part of you. It can be a physical healing or something a bit deeper. Taking the hands back together, we start to rub the palms briskly together again, creating warmth. Notice how the hands feel now. A bit more energy. And we take the hands to the belly. And take a deep breath into the belly. Feel it rise. And soften. And asking yourself, what do I need to heal here? This space being energetically the area that we deal with courage, self-esteem, ego. On a physical level, it could be digestive problems, anything focusing on the abdomen area. What do you need to heal here? And lastly, we take a rub to the hands. Really warm up the palms. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, place the hands on the floor in front of you. And although the hands are coming into contact with the floor, maybe the carpet, imagine that your hands are connecting with the earth. So we're grounding ourselves. Palms connecting with the roots down below. And as we ground down, this is our energy center of belonging, of security and safety. Ask yourself, where do I need to heal here? remove the cushion or the bolster from behind the hips, but keep the hands in front of you. You might be able to walk the hands forward and down. And you've got the option of bringing your pillow or your bolster in front of your body. So as you release down, you can almost be completely supported by the bolster or your cushion. So really the aim of today's practice is to be completely supported, completely nurtured in your environment. And as we open up into the hips, really feel a sense of the sit bones still grounding you into the floor. Feeling the weight of your body releasing over the legs. Notice as we come into this hip opener, if you feel a sense of a restriction, a physical restriction from yourself in the hips, if you're holding on or if you're engaging any muscles, just simply allow them to let go. Experience what it feels like to just let go. Gazing upwards, you can start to walk your hands back to your body. And we're going to uncross the legs, and this time you're going to place your other foot close to the navel, and the other foot's going to stack just staggered in front of that one. So we're going to balance out the hips. So once again, bring the hands to the floor, and just once again, we want to really imagine the hands merging with the floor. So that sense of foundation, of connection, of arriving in the space. And just inquire of your hips how they feel this side round. So really becoming completely embodied in your practice, experiencing each physical sensation of your own body. So as we start to maybe walk the hands down, once again you can bring that cushion, the pillow, in front of you. You can even stack books. If you feel really tight, you could stack some books and release over quite high up. You don't have to go deep into any of these postures that we're taking this evening. But just inquire of yourself how far you want to move into this posture, how much support you want from your environment. So do you want lots of pillows there so you can almost hug and just be supported? Or do you want to take this practice without them and just release down towards the floor? It's really your personal choice. Breathe into the hips. So really when we take a restorative or a yin practice, which is what this is this evening, you don't really want to ever bring your body to any sensations of searing pain. You really want to take your body to about 70–80% maximum in each posture, so you really don't want to go to your maximum. And that really is the hardest thing for a lot of us, is not pushing, not forcing or straining. Giving ourselves and our bodies the permission just to be as they are, without expectation, without criticism. Breathing deep into the belly here, so we're noticing If there are any kind of short and shallow breaths, just noticing that of yourself. Starting to activate the body, I'm going to walk the hands back. I'm going to bring the bolster or the cushion to the side. We're going to come into half frog, so really slowly coming over onto your front. You want to take your pillow or your cushion out to the side. So lying all the way down onto your front, you're going to then take your right leg up and place the knee on the cushion or the bolster. And then just take the arms to a cross. Take the arms to a cross position and just allow the forehead to rest on the hands. So we've taken that right knee up. If it's too intense to have it resting on the cushion or the bolster, you can just rest the leg on the floor. So if that's too much for you, know that that's an option, but that just kind of lifts the knee and making that inner thigh open up a little bit more. So try and roll your right side of your pelvis down to the floor without force or strain. Just taking note that that's the direction of the energy in this position. And then see if you can turn your gaze so you can turn your head so we're gazing to the left. Notice if there's a tension in the shoulders, maybe the jaw, and just see what it feels like to let go of that tension. Breathing deeply into the hip. Resisting the urge to force or strain. And notice if there's any resistance from yourself in terms of wanting to move. And again, don't criticize, you don't have to be annoyed or frustrated at that, it's perfectly natural, but just noticing that of yourself. Do you feel a sense of guilt for lying here and allowing yourself to be still? And maybe placing an intention to heal that thought or that misconception. And then slowly starting to activate the body, we're going to push that leg back and we're going to take the cushion or the bolster over to the other side. So the cushion or the bolster is going to sit on the left side now. We're going to draw the left knee up. So bring the knee up quite high. This is half frog, but we want it to be quite lifted. And then again, we want to feel a sense of that left hip rolling down to the floor. Hands can interlace. You can just rest the forehead down on the hands, trying to avoid any tension in the neck or the jaw. You might feel you can turn your head on its side so you're gazing to the right. Notice if the glutes start to tense. Notice the sensation in the hip flexors. And breathe. moments here, really just giving the hips time to warm up before we come into full frog. And then starting to activate the body, we're going to push that leg back and we're going to come onto all fours, preparing for full frog. So I'd like you to take your cushion or your bolster. You know, if you're quite tight in frog, you can layer them up, so you can take a few here to really provide some height for the body. We're going to come onto our knees and we're going to send them wide. So if you'd like to come side on with your mat to cushion your knees, you can do that. So we take the knees wide and we flex through the feet softly, not viciously, just softly, to come into kind of a frog leg position through the lower body. Hips are in line with the knees, and we're going to then just release the body down towards the floor. So when you come into these positions, to start with, don't go to your maximum, just kind of pull back a little bit and experience how it feels just to softly enter the pose. And then as you start to feel a little bit more comfortable, or you start to open up more, you might be able to come lower. The knees might be able to open up wider. Notice any sensation of cramp or tingling. You might want to ease back or just pull out of the posture for a while. You know that you can do that at any moment. So coming into frog can be quite painful for a lot of people, especially if we experience quite a lot of tension in the hips. So know that you don't want to be in serious discomfort in this position. If you are, please take it higher. Take the knees in a little bit closer, and that's going to just remove some of the intensity for you. For those of you that really can move deeper into the posture, if it's available in your practice, you can remove the bolster completely and lie on the floor. Really feel a sense of a weight in the pelvis. Breathing deep into the hips. Emotions that overcome you in these practices. Know that with yin and restorative yoga, we're working deep into the energy centers, so it's perfectly normal to feel an overwhelming sense of emotion. And it's also normal to feel nothing at all. Prepare to bring our body out of this position. Come up onto the elbows if you're not there already. And really, really slowly start to lift the pelvis. And bring the knees in. Bringing the toes together. Pushing the hips back towards the heels. So we're going to come into a child's pose now to relieve the hips. Now you've got a couple options with the child's pose. If the hips are lifted quite high and you're not yet sinking the hips down to the heels, you can place a cushion just so the hips can rest comfortably and they're not hovering in the air. If you are comfortable in your child's pose, you might like to place your cushion, your bolster out in front of you, placing the wrists and the forearms at an elevated height, and then just feel the chest drop down towards the floor. So this is a lovely heart opener. It's really going to open the chest and open through any blockages we might be feeling there. Know that you can stack that higher if you'd like to make it a little bit more powerful for the shoulders. And then equally, if your body's not quite on the floor, you can take the pillows in the middle and you can allow the body to rest. So again, it's supported in its environment. So setting the pose up for you in your practice, really taking what it is that you want and what it is that you need from this practice this evening. So your practice is always your own and it's always personal to you. And as your heart opens up and as your chest frees some space, just remind yourself of how you felt earlier. When we asked ourselves, what did we need to heal in our heart? And just direct that intention to that healing process now. Maybe you can experience tingling sensations in areas of the body. Maybe you're aware of some excess energy, maybe in the hands, maybe the chest. So with intention, direct that energy to your healing. Slowly beginning to come out of the pose. Really take your time, enjoy these moments, moving really slowly, and experience any shift that you might feel in the body. We're going to come over onto our sit bones now. We're going to come into a seated forward fold. So to begin with, just bring your pillow, your cushion, underneath the sit bones, so we're elevated, and we're going to send the legs out long. Not pulling up with the kneecaps, not engaging the feet, just allowing the legs to be floppy. Maybe you just need to give them a shake, telling them to switch off. And then just take the hands either side of the leg, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just feel gravity doing its work as you can walk the hands down along the legs. Not worrying worrying about having a flat back, not worrying about if the hands reach the feet, not worrying about locking the knees, just allowing yourself to come into the pose. And maybe you want to have a little rock, maybe a little shift side to side. Inquire for your body how this position feels for you this evening. Really use the weight of your head as the finishing touch to nod and tuck in. On this pose to make it a little bit different. So we're going to take the cushion out from underneath the hips. If you're tight in this position, you're going to place the pillow or cushion underneath your knees. If you feel you have the space to, you're going to bring your heels onto the cushions. They're elevated. So they're lifted ever so slightly. That's just going to encourage a bit more length through the posterior chain. So once again, you can bring the hands wherever they fall. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, as if you're deflating down and just releasing, relaxing into this position. We're going to stay here for about 3 minutes. So really just find your edge, your personal edge. Relax your jaw. Relax the space in between your eyebrows. We're going to work with a prolonged exhale in this position. So with me now, take a deep breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. And now breathe out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just repeating that breathing pattern in your own time, allowing the air to slowly trickle in and slowly deflate out. Starting to activate the body. Taking your time, we're going to start to walk up the legs, coming up to sitting. Just take a moment to bend the knees. Maybe you want to window wiper side to side just to release through the lower body. Okay, so coming into another powerful chest opener. You're going to take your cushion behind you. Now if you're doing this with a pillow, I'd suggest folding it and then folding it again, just to really get some height around about there. And we're going to come into reclined bound angle. So this is going to sit almost where your bra strap is. Men, I'll let you use your imagination for where that is. And we're going to release back onto the bolster, onto your cushion, and we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to drop out wide. So the cushion is around bra strap height, and then we're going to allow the head just to knock back. Now if that's too intense, you can take another pillow and place it behind the head. There's a little bit of extra support. Or you can take the bolster higher up. So from here, reach your fingertips up to the sky. Take a deep breath in, feel your shoulder blades grow out. And then as you exhale, allow the arms to travel back behind you. And then allow the arms just to open out on the floor. So there's that real sense of giving into this position. There's nothing holding you here. There's no force, there's no strain, there's no doing. There's just being. And as you lie here, let come, let go, what go. And just see for yourself what remains. So allowing any sensations to arrive as they wash over you. And then allowing yourself to release and let go of whatever you can here. And then from that process, see how you feel. Notice if you're holding any tension in your shoulders, in your neck. And just inquire if you can allow your body to soften into this experience. Notice any feelings of vulnerability, or a sense of wanting to shield and protect in this position. Any emotional upset or hurt that might wash over you. Allow it to come. Allow it to go. And see what remains. For our last pose before we relax. So we're going to bring this underneath the hips. So as you lie down, wiggle it so it's just at the base of the pelvis. And you can stack this as high as you like. So you can lift it and stack it quite high, or you can have it quite low to the ground. You can actually just do this flat on the floor. And from here you're going to bend the knees into the chest. And then you're going to extend the legs up to the sky. Now with the cushion here, it should feel almost as if the legs are just hanging in space. So there shouldn't be a sense of you are purposefully lifting the legs. It's not an active position. Really, this is a complete release. And that's assisted with the use of the height from the back of the pelvis. If you come into this position and you still feel like you're working really hard in the core or in the legs, you can either take a bend to the knees. You can just take the knees completely into the chest, or you can do this against a wall. So it's really up to you how you want to take this candle pose. But from here, take it close to the eyes. Allow everything to switch off. Allowing the legs to hang. And as we soften into this position, let come what come, let go what go, and see what remains. Breathing into your physical body. Elongated pranayama technique now, so slowly allowing the air to trickle in. We breathe in for 12, breathing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold for 12. Slowly breathing out for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold that exhale for 12. Breathe in for 12. Hold for 12. Breathe out for 12. For 12, holding that exhale. Continuing this breathing technique in your own time. Breathing with a full lung capacity. your toes a wiggle. And then slowly bending the knees. Bringing the legs into the body and then allowing them to stretch out on the floor. Keeping that cushion, that pillow, that bolster underneath the hips. So the hips are lifted, but the heels are touching the floor, toes fanning out. And then we've got the palms turned upwards. So we're coming into a Shavasana with a lifted pelvis. If that's really uncomfortable for your low back, by all means you can remove that bolster cushion and you can lie flat on the floor in your Shavasana. So taking Shavasana in this position just sends a fresh blood flow to the feet to ground you. It also sends a fresh amount of blood flow to the throat, aiding in our communication. Allowing the eyes to close if they're not closed already. And tuning in with that deep belly breathing. Noticing how the breath comes and how it goes. Taking a moment to check in with how you feel in your head. That space in between your eyebrows. Check in with the sensations you can feel in your throat. Your heart, your chest center. Your solar plexus. Your feet, completely aware and present with the whole of your physical form, breathing from the tips of your toes all the way out through the crown of the head. Taking a deep breath in, breathing out through the mouth. Just sending some awareness and some movement to your fingers and toes. Maybe you'd like to stretch the arms overhead and flex out through your heels, lengthening, elongating your body. To take your cushion out from under the hips, and when you're ready, slowly rolling over onto your right side. Just resting here in the fetal position as long as you need to. And when you're ready, you can push yourself up into a seated position with me. Together, start to rub the palms briskly to create energy. And I'd like you to place your hands on the energy center that you feel needs a little bit more healing. So it could be your third eye, your throat, your heart, solar plexus, or ground into the floor. Just taking a moment to connect. Let come what come, let go what go, and see what remains. Om Shanti, Namaste. Namaste everybody, I hope we are feeling good, I hope you're feeling okay. If you need to journal, if you need to write things down after that practice, by all means do. I think it's a really good time to practice journaling, especially if you've got a lot of things that have come up for you. I am teaching a yoga class on Sunday at 11 o'clock, and that's a power flow, so that's really quite an energizing practice. For those of you that are interested in my full moon ceremony, I'm going to be holding a full moon workshop on Thursday at 8 o'clock, and it's going to be incredible. I'm so excited to be holding it all with you. It's going to be via Zoom. We're going to be taking a physical embodiment practice. We're going to learn about the lunar calendar, about the super full moon that we have, and it's the last one of 2020, so it's such a powerful time for you to be able to manifest and let go of what is no longer serving you in your life. So if you have any more questions, please do let me know. I will be posting about that tomorrow, so you can all book on in if you are interested. Thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Namaste, thank you. Bye.